Nigger, girl, Becky. Please and thank you. Let me say this ahead of time. I can't see one comment. Who? Who? And who? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I wasn't even really breathing hard until I hit live. It just is what it is. It's further away than it ever has been. But that's all a part of my doing, you guys. That's all my doing. I broke my laptop. So I took a week off. And I'm back. But under different circumstances with different devices. And so, oh, y'all, excuse me. A little crusty right there. My nose been running all day. I'll be wiping it. But sometimes it runs. It is what it is. But yeah. So this is my first time on. I'm just using both of my phones. And like the Android, I was already running late. But when I say the Android took 6 minutes to power up because it's slow. So that's normally the phone that I take notes on. Welcome, 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 y'all. That's normally the phone I take notes on. It's not the phone that I go live on. So, because it's slow. It took 6 minutes for that joker to power up because I had to turn it off so that it would, I turned it off so that it would charge a little quicker. And I don't even know how much it charged, so I'm gonna try not to lollygag because I don't know. But everything worked out. It's here. It is Sylvia 414. I am Sylvia, your rough edge lady, y'all. I hope y'all have had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. I hope y'all have had a wonderful last week, 2 weeks, really, because I haven't been on in 2 weeks. So I haven't said, have y'all had a wonderful day in 2 weeks? So welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope y'all have had a wonderful day in 2 weeks. um, yeah, y'all. I need a laptop because I don't know. I guess I don't have to see myself like that, but it just seems so far away now. But I don't know. It works. It is what it is. So, y'all, today has been productive. Oh my goodness. I have another Facebook page. And on my other Facebook page, I cook, I craft, like I make jewelry, and I make house jewelry. Like I call that my house jewelry behind me. I made that. It started out as a clock, um, and I made it into a wreath. It was supposed to be for my aunt, but she said it didn't look like a wreath, and she more old school than me. I'm old school and I'm almost 50. She old school and she almost 80. But when I tell you that chick don't look 80, my queen does not look 80. And her body looks even less than that. When I tell you that almost 80-year-old woman can wear I mean, don't need front. Don't need front. Cause y'all already know that I will pull the stomach out right now. But when I say queen can pull the stomach out, there's no stretch marks on the stomach. It's no, she don't have no, she might have a little pouch in her 80s. And that's because she put on weight to put her at about, maybe she is 7 or 8 now after all these years. But when I tell you flat stomach, like washboard, she always wore halter tops. And I was just like, yay. Y'all, I have a different drink tonight. You know, I come up this joker sometime and I don't be having my drink. I have a little drink. Just a little bit. It is called chocolatini. And if I drink anything, which is not going to be something y'all see me do often, because I really don't drink, but if I do, it got to be something that tastes good. And that tastes good. I forget who it's by. But yes. So Queen can wear the halter tops. Um but my day has been productive. I was saying all that to say I made French toast out of real French bread. When I say that French toast, it melted in your mouth. It really melted in your mouth. I made French toast, omelet, and bacon. And that's on my page, my other Facebook page, Sylvie's Place. So if any of y'all care to go take a look at Sylvie's Place, have at it. And look, y'all, not having my laptop does not give me music to meditate. But guess what? I still want 2 minutes to meditate. I need my two. It is what it is. I need my two. It's a part of the game. Um, I may not be able to go like I choose to go because I'm going to be counting my two in my head, but I need my two. As soon as I get my two, we're going to come back and talk about the smoke and the mirrors. And that thing means something to me. And y'all gonna see, OMG, is y'all gonna see. Oh, Lord. Lord. Y'all gonna see the smoke and the mirrors. Hey, the smoke and the mirrors. And I need my two. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have water too, y'all. I wish I could mute when I be drinking water because I know Drinking loud. Good evening, good evening, good evening, y'all. Charge it to my charge it to my clumsiness and not my heart. I'm gonna say welcome, welcome, welcome. I see stuff over there, but I can't see stuff over there. Yeah, I broke my laptop. I broke my laptop, so I am live from both my phones. I don't have my Android here so that I can keep my notes. I had to write my notes down, old school, and I am old school, but I love using my Android to hold in my hand for my notes. And I'm not able to do that because I broke my laptop. Y'all wanna know how I broke my laptop? I broke my laptop being hard-headed because sometimes we be hard-headed. I kept setting my laptop on the ledge of the deck, you know, the rail where you're gonna hold to walk down the steps, the thin part. It was not really that thin. It was thick enough to hold a laptop. Really, it is. It's just, you have to sit it up there very balanced like. And I had already set it up there a couple of times and it was very not balanced. And it fell. A couple of times it fell. And then we had someone over working on the house and we were talking and he said, you know, that's a dangerous place for your laptop to be. And I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, I know. It's fallen a couple of times already. So I stopped keeping it up there. And I did real good for a while. He came over again and started working on the house again. And I told him, I was like, I've been doing good. I put it up there a time or two. I ain't really been keeping my laptop up there. And then after that, I made a lie out of myself. And then started putting my laptop up there a little more. Not like I was in the beginning, but still, I was supposed to put it up there less, not more. And so I put it up there more one night. No, it was really night outside. It was really night outside. I put the laptop up there, I had both the phones sitting up there. And it wasn't balanced. And next thing you know, it was like pow, and I heard it. Like the other two times it fell, I heard it, but I didn't. I heard it. This time I heard it. And so I walked downstairs and I looked and I opened my laptop when I picked it up and it was dirt like embedded in the corner of the laptop. And it's kind of rounded. It's not really, really pointy square. It's like rounded. It dove itself right down in the dirt and it just broke. The screen works, but that's about it. You can't do nothing on it. And so I'm doing what I have to do. I'm improvising right now because I took a week off last week because I thought that I had the issue fixed. My cousin blessed me with a screen, and for real, I may see about getting a keyboard and see about just doing it from that. For real, I just thought about that. Just like, oh yeah, when I was meditating, I thought about something too. Y'all know that this page is about reaching your highest vibrations, highest God powers in your mind, highest energy levels, however you want to look at it, highest self-confidence levels. But it's also about ecclesiastical, societal, and political oppression. And as I was meditating, I thought about how I had outlined it this week. I've never taken notice to how I've outlined it. So I was thinking about just a quick thought about how I outlined it. And as quick as I thought about how I outlined it, I thought about the name to my show that I didn't even put in either of the bios. I may be able to. Sylvie 414, basically. I put it in there enough that people know. Sylvie 414, and you'll catch me at any given time say that one in the middle is to bring balance. Yeah, the way I outlined it: ecclesiastical, societal in the middle, and political. And that's because the societal is affected by both. That's what I came. I'm like, that one in the middle was for balance. Could it be that it's meant for the societal to bring balance to the ecclesiastical and the political? Could it be? I mean, the societal, it's the societal. You know, they, all caps, they run those things, but the societal, really, what could be done without the societal? Seriously, ponder, because y'all know about Sylvia, and y'all know she like for y'all to ponder. What could be done without the societal? When I say this is just stuff, I'm talking on this stuff based off of the thoughts that I was just having in my meditation and the way that I lined it up, and that one being in the middle. What can be done without the society? We go to the churches, we believe how you believe. That's not what this is about. The Lord tell me how to come and how to speak, and hopefully to be able to be respectful to anybody who comes on this platform. But seriously, and I was gonna mention this country being built on Christianity a little later, but I mean it's fact. This country is built on Christianity. So when we Christians and we are involved in the church and we do a lot for the church, whether it's monetarily, whether we're giving of ourselves, our time, you know, whatever we giving to the church. And if we wasn't giving like that, and it could be in any religion, if we wasn't giving like that, they don't thrive as much. I promise you, I go to church every Sunday. I have been gone from that church for 3 years, and the Most High brought me back to that church. Been back for 5 months. Every time I talk on this platform, I talk to me first. But I'm saying this is the thought process I'm having based off of just having meditated. The political part the same way. Society lie in the middle of them both. If we don't, I said that on one of my comments today. If we're not willing to get our minds right, oh, so many things can get past us. I was just talking about leaves. I was just talking about a fake feeling leaf. You can't tell me they want some GMO in that leaf compared to the leaf that just crumbled, which is what leaves do when they turn brown for the most part. They're supposed to crumble. They're not supposed to just bend and fold. I'm just saying. Um, but the same thing with the ecclesiastical lies with the political. We invest our time and our finances and our this and our that into the political. Is the societal meant? Because, you know, because the Most High told me don't make it a black thing. And oh, so many things have lined up to make sure that it is not being made a black thing. Got a little thing up here for all the night that you know it's not a black thing. It's not a black thing. So let's go ahead on, since I said I was going to talk about it, and I'm talking about the political. And I said I was going to say, talk about America being a Christian. Look at me, because I'm getting out of order. Hold up. Talking about America being a Christian society, because there is an issue. There is a black issue. There, everybody that is screaming about so many issues, there are those issues. Issues. A lot of people feel as though, you know, everything came from black, and you know, we can go down that rabbit hole. But I said all of that to say, if that was the case, would not the reasoning be bigger than that? Would not the reasoning be to keep power? In this world, money is power. And if black people were the first, and they was making the things, I took a whole lot of African American history courses, so we don't got to go deep in that. But if somebody, because we got a Bible verse for it, and everything that was that the Bible? That might have not been the Bible. That might have been the Quran. We got to. Anywho, let me get back to track. That what happen every time I get off track. Probably don't need to drink that chocolate. But if it was so that everything was being made by us and everything like that, and somebody didn't like that and they wanted the power, that was the power they were going after. It could have been if it had been another color of people, that was still the power that they were going after. Bigger than the people, it was just the people that had the power. They needed the power. So if that lie, cheating, steal to get the power from whoever they had to get the power from, smoke and mirrors, smoke and mirrors. It's all smoke and mirrors. That's the purpose of needing to get your mind right, so that you can at least take a balanced view. Your mind being Sylvie's mind first. And Sylvie is Yvette. Before she is anybody, Sylvie is the persona. And my babies gave me her. And more than my baby shop, Kim gave me her. I didn't ask for Sylvie. I was given her. But Yvette talked to Yvette on a daily basis. And know that she got to help herself. Period. And I came up here sweating bullets the other day, sweating real bullets, like my fingers was wet. I knew that I had to do some things and some stuff. And not only did I have to do some things and some stuff, that's why I say, don't ever look at me and think I am on this walk. I say that all the time. We're on the journey together. If you care to join in on this journey, on the journey together. And that thing ain't no joke. We talking about them smoke and mirrors. Them smoke and mirrors come from that 3 the Hard Way. I just finished posting videos about 3 the Hard Way. And 3 the Hard Way, I have to be blessed. I have to bless the Most High for my content, because my cousin told me, because I didn't go live last week, she was like, post your content as long as it's still relevant. The content that the Most High gave me continues to be relevant, even if I don't mention some content that I watched specifically. Welcome, 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 y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank y'all for coming to chill with me for a minute. Even if I don't speak on some content that I watched specifically, talking about this anema persona and this narcissism buddy, and the way that it's falling into a lot of the content that I be watching. Smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors. So we're going to get into it, and we are going to start with ecclesiastical oppression. And those are just by way of the verses that I have. It be powerful, y'all, because, and I was saying this thing has had, this platform has had 3 different transitions. When I first started doing this in 2017, 18, something like that, I would ask the Most High to give me a word. And when I say the words was coming, and I would look the word up, because I love words, I would look the word up in all the dictionaries that I felt relevant. I didn't have etymology back then. I just had my dictionaries that I use, Cambridge, Oxford. I like dictionary.com. I'm not really keen on Webster's. They like to switch them up on you real quick. Smoke and mirror you with some definitions. Like, you really shouldn't be undefining definitions, nor should you be trying to twist definitions to suit you. That's like twisting the Bible. When you go in and start twisting the dictionary, and the Bible is different. I'm talking about Christians. If it don't apply, let it fly. Don't apply, let it fly. You're a Christian and you're twisting the Bible to make it suit you. That's not quite right. If you are anyone who is twisting the dictionary, skipping over definitions and all that good stuff to make it suit you, still not right. A definition is a definition. You want to start changing the meaning of things, and that's getting off subject. Well, let's come back to the center. No one wants to go to totally. We're going to stay here. So, when I was reading Proverbs, because I read Proverbs, I think I was talking about something else, but it might not have been as important. I think I started talking about when I was oh yeah, I was I was talking about how the thing changed. So I was given the word, I was given the definition of the word, breaking it down and having you define yourself in it. Words like evil. Go do the etymology on it. You can find yourself in it. Find myself in it. The most minimal and minute meaning of the word, you find yourself in it. And so then it changed and it moved more in the direction of a Bible study, but hood form. I ain't even trying to be funny, y'all. I mean, I'm a little rough around the edges. I say that every time I come up here. Sylvia, rough edge lady. I'm a little rough around the edges. So it was like a Bible study, kind of like hood form. Then it really got hood. So I had some people from my church that was following me, but then it really got hood, and I started playing music, and it went on gospel music, and they didn't like that. Play music that was relevant to what I was doing. However, I wasn't on YouTube as of yet. And YouTube don't like music. I just got on YouTube earlier this year. April, as a matter of fact, was my first time on YouTube. So it stayed like by it just. I want to say it really. YouTube did it. YouTube was this. YouTube brought it to this. And when it first came to this, I was still struggling because it was kind of in Bible study form. And one thing for sure and two things for certain, the Most High is not going to be left out. No. The Most High will not have itself left out. The Most High androgynous, whether y'all want to be androgynous or not, the Most High is androgynous. So I reserve my right to refer to the Most High as it, he, or she, baby. It, he, or she. I call he daddy. I call she Umi. Maybe I'll get a name for it. Or maybe I'll just call it it. That might ruffle feathers. Somebody called me a rebel rouser for Jesus. And I have major respect for Jesus because what I'm being taught is that we are supposed to be having the mind in us. Oh, so many of us that's not what I'm talking about tonight. That's not what I'm talking about, but we're supposed to be having the mind in us, a mindset to do better, a mindset to be better, a mindset to live better, a mindset to have better. Level up in my Sierra voice. Okay, Proverbs, because now I've told you how I got to here, so I did finish. All I was trying to do was finish. So, when I started reading Proverbs chapter 12, I got to verse 1 and finished verse 1 and said, okay, God, this the one for me. If you say it's the one, this the one I choose. But I have always, the entire time that I have been doing it, have been adamant to say, God, you have your way in this verse because I wanted to line up. And I'm not going to get into all of that, how it's crazy how it lined up sometimes because I didn't even understand it. But I'm like, okay, verse 1, I'm good with verse 1. So I keep reading because I don't just read the verse and stop there because that would be ludicrous. There's no learning. Look, I remember teaching. A lot of my teaching in the church come from women. That's why I love when I can get them and older women. Like I either get my teaching from the youth or the old folk. I don't really get teaching from folk like me, my age and stuff. I'm gonna say never. I'm gonna say never. But for the most part, it come from the youth or the old folk, and mostly older women. So when I can get a few men in there, they're like grandfather me. Don't like welcome, welcome, welcome. That wisdom be something else. But I said all of that to say that Deacon Bellamy, older Deacon Bellamy, he said you can't get any. He said you should definitely read the whole chapter. He said, but if you're not going to read the whole chapter, you at least need to read the verse before your verse and the verse after your verse to get at least a little bit of understanding. And I was like, yes, sir. There's no verse before verse 1. So it only would have been verse 2, but I read the whole chapter. I said all that to say I read the whole chapter. So I get down to verse 12, and I realized earlier today that it was 12:12. I was going to post about it. I was going to go in. I normally, and look, I said I was going to get back to chakra and numbers in the new year. Y'all, this is me just becoming faithful to this platform, making sure I'm on it. Like, I don't really miss it at this point. I don't really miss it. So making sure I'm on it at this point. Everything coming together. Staying low. Get low, staying low. Not trying to beat myself up because I ain't never did this before. This new. I just thought about no, you know, you ain't never did no before. You never did this before. So, you know, everything ain't fell into place, but it will because when I first started, I was talking about the chakras, I was talking about the numbers, and I do believe that they're all important because they are things that the Most High brought to me. I didn't bring them to myself. I ain't just started looking for numbers and looking into chakras and psychology and stuff like that. I love it all. But I ain't just start doing it and then all of that just be lining up. I'm just saying. Said all that to say. When I got down to verse 12, it hit me again. Oh yeah, it's 12:12. Here we is on the 12th chapter at the 12th verse. I ain't just gonna choose it, Lord. If you say no, no. And I was supposed to be going to study it, but I believe that I'm certain that I probably have studied it before. Maybe not, I don't know. But I believe that I do have understanding, just a general understanding based off of the verse. And I believe that that's the verse that the Most High told me to choose. The wicked desireth the net of evil men, but the root of the righteous yieldeth fruit. Now, if you take the Christian and the religious part out of this and just think about the righteous being somebody that's just doing the right thing to get to the places that they want to be, not just being grimy. Tupac said, what the dude say? I can't even think of his part. Because he was bragging on how he had done in the day, and that's just the way it is. Tupac was like, yeah, but you made it in a sleazy way. Selling crack to the baby kids or to the little kids. Yeah, that's the way it is. Righteous is just the desire to do right things to get to where you want to be, not to be trying to get rich quick, to be trying to do schemes that's going to help to get you rich. You know, you're going to put in the work to get where you want to be. The wicked desire the net of the evil man. What a net do? A net catch more. So you're trying to get oils that you can from the evil men. Because the evil men have no care for anything but the money, power, respect. And the respect is kind of neither here nor there. So that one's a little shaky. But that money and that power, they probably don't even care if they got your respect because they have the money and the power. But the root, come on now, roots hold up trees, man. Let me say that again. Roots hold up trees. Let me throw something in there about nets. They break. Oh, buddy. Nets have the capability of breaking, try to break a tree, especially with some deep roots. Try to break a tree, baby. What that says to me on the general is the person that only has money and power on their minds is going to try and do everything that they can, and they may even attain it. But the person who has roots don't really need no help. They able to attain them same things if they believe and understand that they have roots, and roots just bear fruit. Why? Because trees are outside where the nature is. And it just nature's on them. They don't have to do anything. So if you do believe that there is a most high, would you rather be a net or a root? I'm so earth. I'm so earth. And then, so before I give the second verse, because that's going to come out of Leviticus, because I said I do 2 verses out of the Bible and then 1 out of the Quran and 1 out of the Apocrypha. So when I was reading the verses leading up to the verse that I was going to choose, I didn't know I was going to choose until I got there. And then I got to that verse. I was like, whoa, that sounds like if then. Nosy Bystander was talking about if then when she was talking about Brianna LaTruth. We're going to talk about Brianna LaTruth a little bit. She was talking about if then, because one of the people, because you know people come in and troll. That's a word I get because I'm on social media now. I ain't know nothing about trolling, so people come in and troll. Somebody came in and said, y'all are just doing this because y'all are hating on her because she's pretty. First and foremost, the Nosy Bystander is pretty. She might not do her hair, and I don't have no problem with saying that because she don't have no problem with saying that. And she got a head full of, she has a head full of lovely hair. She just says she don't got time to do it. So it might be thrown in a, whoo, this way, that way, every way. It might be. But hey, y'all don't see me come on this joker like that. What's that you wearing? Confidence. Woo, buddy, you better say that thing. What is that you wearing? But anywho, so this gave me the if then effect because I'm gonna read the verse because I didn't go in and just write down all the verses prior to. It was like 3 verses prior to, but I did go in and kind of like summarize. So I'm gonna read Leviticus verse 6, chapter 4. Then it shall be, because he hath sinned and is guilty, that he shall restore that which he took violently away, or the thing which he hath deceitfully gotten, or that which what in the world? Oh, that which which we delivered him to keep, or the lost thing he found. That was the Lord speaking to Moses. And verse 5 goes on to say, and that thing that he swore, verse 5 goes on to say he's going to pay that back. And then some on top of that. And he's going to pay it back to whoever so it appertaineth. And he's going to pay it back in the right day, in the right time, is basically what it broke down to say. And you see, and somebody going to pay something back. Somebody going to pay something back because 414, one in the middle, balance. I need you to see both. I need you to see. The Lord had me to watch Nat Turner. The Lord had me to come to a place where I understood that don't add, don't subtract meant that it had been done, not that it could be done. It's been added to, it's been subtracted from. I understand all of that. The Lord told me to Nat Turner on this thing. Somebody's going to pay, is what that's saying. Okay? All right. So, that's the then. I just read you the then, so now I'm going to go back and read you the if. If you lie to your neighbor and take something that's his, ponder. If you lie to your neighbor and take something that's his, don't want to fellowship, to me that says, I can't stand you. I don't want to be around you. I hate you. Don't want to fellowship with him. You deceive him. Wait a minute. Oh, you deceive him. You find something lost and lie and swear to keep it that belongs to him. If you do those things, then you're going to do that thing. But if we so busy concerned about all of that instead of concerned about getting ourselves to a place, look, I'm walking in habit in a lot of things right now. I'm just going to be a little transparent. Walking in habit in a lot of things right now. I'm eating things that I know have been tampered with at the least. Have been tampered with. Don't taste the same. Don't look the same. My landlord said, we thought those grapefruits were oranges. My landlord ain't no man. We thought those grapefruit were oranges. Yeah, these are the smallest grapefruit I ever did see. I just posted the video today of the teacup oxtail. When I don't care if an oxtail come off of a cow or I don't care where it come from. The smallest part of their tail ain't as small as that oxtail, but that oxtail was like this. Full of bone shards. I've been eating oxtails for a long time. I've been eating a lot of things for a long time. And when I eat them now, it's something else that I want to say those ribs, full of bone shards. Meat that used to be full of bone shards. Just make me feel like they're full of bone shards because they're being tampered with. Like you're tampering with the good food, like fresh produce, taking seeds out of things. We either good with it, or we don't realize it because we ain't paying no attention. But that starts with we. We is an individual to each person that hears, starting with myself. That's why I said don't never call me. I work daily at disciplines that I can't stand. Some that I would love to throw out of the window. But I'm talking about discipline in here too. That's what self-analyzation is all about. Self-discipline. If you calling yourself disciplined because you get up the same time every day and you've been working on your job for 20 years and you go to the gym and you eat good, those things are great. Those things are great. But if you cannot go within to take the deepest and the hardest look at yourself, if everything is just because those are things you see, those are persona type things. Shadow work you don't see. Shadow work you may not even know about some of it. I, if I was a dummy, I might say I regret asking God to show me good, bad, and different, because that thing ain't been no joke since I asked that. And that was more than, it's probably 12, 13 years ago. I was high down a long way ago. I thought, darn night, had me shut up for 2 years. But if you want to go to new places that you've never been before, you have to start at home. And at home means in your temple that you carry with you everywhere you go. You can't just do it all pretty on a Sunday and then go home and can't sit with yourself, man. I don't watch minty, minty people who can't sit with themselves and who exhibit it in many different ways. I watch. God made me nosy. I'm following the nosy bystander at this point. The Most High made me nosy when I was a little itty bitty. My family always called me nosy. I told somebody at the church before I left the church, God made me nosy for a reason. So he can tweak it in maturity to make it become watching, part of the armor that people never want to give credit to. They never even wanted to give credit to watching or praying. I'm talking Christian right now. If you ain't Christian, you might not know what I'm talking about. If you is, here's to you. You know what I'm talking about. Watch and pray. I watch. I watch. It is what it is. Well, I'm going to need y'all to ponder on Leviticus 7 and 6. 6 and 4. If y'all choose to read it, verses 1 through 5, they're a doozy. Leviticus 6, verses 1 through 5, they're a doozy. Nat turn around this piece, excuse me, not Nat King. And then there was First Maccabees 6. Oh, okay, 6 and 11. But there's 111 there, and God's been 111 in me and 414 in me like nobody's business. That's why I said I know that I'm going back to the numbers and the chakras, because I don't stop seeing the numbers, and I don't believe that they are only for me. I know that I need discernment on the way that I need to move forward with it, because this ain't for play for me. None of this is for play. None of this for play. I came across the Apocrypha. I ain't gonna go into that whole story, but Maccabees was the book that I was led to when I first ever heard of the Apocrypha. And that was when my daughters were little girls. My oldest daughter just turned 30, November the 27th. And they were probably in elementary school when I first heard about the Apocrypha. And it wasn't until they were in probably high school. My oldest daughter may have been out of high school when I started reading it, and probably about junior high schoolish, they asked their grandmother if she still had the book, and she didn't have it anymore. She threw it away. So I said all that to say I struggled with all of this, probably because there was a thing that was put in me as a Christian that just said, no, you're not supposed to do none of that. You're not supposed to do none of that. So here I am now at First Maccabees 6 and 11. Because that book, the Apocrypha, Maccabees came to me so much that my uncle, his old school Christian tale, came to me about the Apocrypha. And Maccabees had been such, because I heard about it in my religion courses, it had been at me like that when I finally understood what he was saying to me, because he was kind of talking in code, but when I finally understood what he was saying to me, I asked, "Oh, you talking about Maccabees?" And he was like, "Nah." And then I was like, "Oh yeah, the Apocrypha." It took me a little bit to get to the Apocrypha, but I was like, "Yeah, oh yeah, the Apocrypha." He was like, "Yeah." So First Maccabees 6 and 11, and I thought with myself. Let me repeat that. Because I don't go researching Bible verses saying, "Oh, this fits the subject." I just read, like when I say I read Proverbs, one proverb a day. Well, I'm getting back to reading one proverb a day because um, and Maccabees I may not read every day, but I read it in order. So if I'm reading chapter 5 today, when I get back into it, I'm going to read chapter 6 like that, to line it up. So let me say that again. And I thought with myself, into what tribulation am I come? And how great a flood of misery is it wherein now I am for? I was bountiful and beloved in my power. I thought with myself. I analyzed myself. I went within. And thought about what trouble I had done got myself into. This on his deathbed, y'all. This King Antiochus on his deathbed. Because he had done been a whole hot, horrible mess. And killed up the Israels, bulls to Israels and stuff. Plundering and stuff. Because you the man. And you all the way right. And can't nobody tell you nothing. That part. And now you thought to yourself, what trouble you got yourself into. How great a flood of misery it is. That you had such a love. A great love. Bountiful is great. For your power. Not for people. For your power. If you're in love with power, you will step on people. The first shall be last, and the last shall be first, is the numbers that God gave to me when this thing started transitioning. It wasn't until I got on YouTube that it really transitioned, but I was doing something different back September of 20. That's when I started going back live again. I had not been live since April of 2020. And then I went, no, that's 19. I started going live again in September 2019. Hadn't been live since April of 2019. And that's when the change actually started. But it still wasn't like this until YouTube. But God said to me then, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. We're going on the journey and we're going on the journey together. Going on the journey was one number, going on the journey together was another number. That's why I say I'm going on the journey. If you want to join me, you can. The first shall be last and the last shall be first, but the last that is set to be first, if you got power on your mind, all I can tell you is, call me Jeremiah. This is like fire shut up in my bones. The Lord will snatch you off your platform, your pedestal, your whatever. It's not happening. I'm not saying anything gonna happen. I'm not saying anybody gonna pay quick. I'm saying what And I already done come up this joker plenty and said I know I'm late with a lot of things. It's serving us fake food. We supposed to be putting our own in the ground. We're supposed to be putting our own stuff in the ground. But if our minds is set on low vibration all the day long, we're not thinking about stuff like that. We're not thinking about stuff like that. And even when our minds begin to go into the right directions, begin to move into the right directions, we struggle because we may be so used to doing a different thing. And this came from the Quran. I don't know what chapter this is, what the name of this book was. I didn't even go to, I went so I could try to see what the name of the book was, but I got so overwhelmed by how many verses was in there that I forgot to do that. It looked like 1,000,000 verses in there. It is a commentary that I love to study by, but it'd be so long. It'd be like 1,000,000 words in it, and that's what I felt about that chapter. And I had already read 100,000 words in Maccabees. Oh my God, I'm glad I ain't in Psalms right now, because that would be a doozy trying to read all of them. But Psalms is the only book in the Bible that's like that. Maccabees, oh my God. Every chapter is 100,000 words long. Okay. But anywho, from the Quran, and seek help through patience and the prayer. And indeed, it is surely difficult, except on the humble ones. For everybody who looks at humility as a bad thing, I hope you're not a Christian. I can't say nothing to you if you're a Christian, if you're not a Christian. If you're a Christian and you look at humility as a bad thing, that's not a good thing. Let me tell you how I look at humility. I've always looked at humility this way. But since I've been doing this, I don't even have no large platform. But I be watching the love that people be giving me. And I have heard YouTubers say that they know that it can be intoxicating. I've watched it be intoxicating to YouTubers that I watch. If you don't be begging for lowness, you will never be able to take this thing. All I can do is keep the Most High at the forefront. I can't come up here and say it in a spiritual place as I believe that I'm being led. I can't say I'm being led there without there being something bigger than me, because this thing started me when I was yay high to a baby. Yay high to a baby. Never had been in a church experiencing things that I ain't had no business experiencing, but for some would think unless I had been in the church. You need patience to deal with yourself. Patience to deal with yourself. Prayer ain't nothing but communicating to God. And guess what? I talk to my ancestors as well. Another scary place that I never wanted to go. And guess what? That's still a very scary place for me, because I do it stepping lightly. Because of everything that I have learned. Sometimes things that you learn, you might not even be able to trace back anywhere. You will negate something that is not a fact, but the truth. Because the Most High sent me a message through Bill Winston and said that the truth is the highest form of reality because a fact can be unchanged. Excuse me, a fact can be changed. And I proved that theory. And I've talked about it on this platform before. Facts that have changed in my life. And which now are the truth of my life, but they were a fact. A fact is true until it's not true anymore. Some facts are always true, but facts don't always have to stay true. The truth was the truth from the beginning, and it's going to be the truth at the end. If the smoke and mirrors try to cover up the truth, it is still the truth. It is just what did... I am not going to call... I am just going to call him Tariq Nasheed. What was his thing? Hidden truth? It's hidden, it's just hidden. It's still the truth. And he didn't call it hidden fact. He called it hidden truth. I like words. Okay. And discipline also means using certain rules and limits for ourselves to be followed and not to be stepped on. Sometimes I step on rules. Because I walk this walk every day, sometimes I step on rules. There are rules that I follow and do not step on at all. But there are still rules that sometimes I step on. I'm learning to stop stepping on certain things. But sometimes I step on rules. I wasn't stepping on a rule, and this is talking about disciplining myself. If I wasn't stepping on a rule, I would not be sweating bullets. Patience. That's a patience issue. I have a lack of patience for ignorance. So I need to learn how to, and because I am more patient with ignorance, does not make me tolerate it. That is just like understanding. Because you understand something does not mean you condone it. Because I'm more patient with ignorance does not mean I'll be tolerating it. It just means I will learn how to handle it, which I do. I don't go breaking out in sweat due to ignorance on a regular basis. But there are those cases that do a thing to me. And I hope that is not my battery dying, because I need for it to last a little longer. Or Facebook, y'all might be out. It was charging slow on that charge. I have to get a I didn't get to the store today. Well, I did, but I wasn't thinking about a charger when I got there because it's not compatible. It's saying it's not compatible with the charger that I have, and so it's charging slowly. So, all right, so let's get into it real quick. Let's try to make this look quick. This phone on down, y'all. So we're gonna start off with the news site, and she was talking about the Bill of Truths. This is 3 the Hard Way, y'all. 3 the Hard Way. This platform is for women, but the Lord said to me, let him that has an ear to hear, hear, and that before the men. If you need it, catch it. Because Mr. LaTruth got narcissism going on, and he's a man, and we're going to talk about a couple of other men. But first, we're going to talk about Brianna. Because she said in her apology, she apologized to her husband, and she said, you were my first husband. And all that I thought about when she said that was, Whoa, that's weird. Because he's still your husband. Y'all might even get back together. So a lot of people think that they are going to get back together, but you were my first husband? Like, what will prompt you to use those words in an apology? Even if you say you were my first love, like you were my first husband, sounds like you got a plot and a plan. Even if y'all get back together, you got a plot. I got a plot and a plan because it's being said, and I don't know. I can't say per se that it's the truth, but they say that you know she got to come up, and he got sick, and now she wants to leave. He had cancer, and since he got cancer, now she wants to leave, and multiple platforms say that she has ruined his platform, ruined his livelihood, basically, which is just ridiculous. I call narcissism to Brianna because in all of the, I tried to coach Stormy on Brianna. I tried to do the same thing with Brianna that I did with Coach Stormy. That's why I started doing that healing coach because I couldn't find nothing. I couldn't find nothing to back you up. Every video that I saw of this young lady, she is talking about healing her husband. How are you having a self help or a healing, a platform geared towards healing, and you just want to talk about the healing of somebody else? I'm not. All I want to do is talk about the healing of self. I'm not gonna. I don't believe that I have come on this live one day and just drug anybody that I talk about. Like you are talking about this man, you are having his daughter come on and talk about him. His daughter's story didn't really even sound believable. And I'm not saying it didn't sound believable because the nosy bystander said that she does believe the daughter, but it sounded coached. I'll say that. It sounded very coached. And she also said that that was a first for her dad. He was said to have abused her, but she said that it was a first for her dad. Um, and it just all of it just seemed really really coached. But I was watching uh, podcaster another podcaster that I just started watching, and her name was, where is it, oh, Sweet My Life. She also said, and that was the day after I said it was weird. The day after she said that that was a weird statement. If you watch the video and watch the apology, and you can tell in everything, she's just up there. Just, this is God deals with me. I just said I lack compassion when you go full steam ahead in trouble, but God want me to have compassion. But when I see somebody that's just doing everything outward, like everything is outward, everything is about your husband and nothing is about you, and you did your best. I did my best, and I was this and I was that, and his daughter wanted to stay with me and she didn't want to stay with him. And I don't hear anything like, you don't come up here sweating bullets sometimes. You don't come up here sweating bullets because you had a bad day or something. Like, I never hear you helping yourself. I'm certain y'all hear me helping myself on this platform because I always say it start with me. I always say it start with me. And y'all see my passion. And so with that being said, I'm going to go ahead on and talk about this right now. How my people say somebody I love very dearly. So it sound like you be having a problem with people, with somebody personally, when you be up there sometime. I have a problem when people mess with people that don't be trying to be messed with. I have a problem when people don't like to look at themselves. I have the biggest problem with that. I have had my struggles. I have been in a depressive state. I have gone through some things and some stuff. I've been homeless. I've gone through some things and some stuff. I know what things can be hard. I know what the throes of depression are like. I know how hard it is to care about yourself. I can get with all of that. What I can't get with is woe is me. I'm perfect. Everybody else did it. I have a hard time with that. And so the Most High is learning how to soften me there, because the Most High has placed a lot of people in my life like that. And I don't think it's for the purpose of, I know it's not, because I have been softened in my dealings with them, and the Most High still deals with me, but I have been softened in my dealings with them. Believe you me. God don't play with me like that. I can't speak with nobody else. So, another thing that leads me to believe that there's narcissism with Miss Brianna. You know, they a couple. They a social media couple. Look, I'm thinking that phone was gonna do some things and some stuff, and this phone trying to do some things and some stuff. I better hurry. I better hurry. I think I'm almost finished though. But another thing is the fact that she likes to bring all her woes to social media. She likes to bring all her woes to social media, and there was this thing going on between her and Tasha K, and I guess it's still going on. She's trying to make it seem like she put off an interview with Tasha K because Tasha K is messy. I don't know. I'm team Tasha K. I'm team Tasha K on this one, because I said it before I watched Tasha K. When I was watching her interview, I think I watched a short interview by Tasha K, but it didn't say what that next interview that I watched said. But I watched Brianna in between the two Tasha K interviews. After I watched the first interview and then watched Brianna's interview, I said, there's no way that your team went to Tasha K and demanded divitude. Tasha K said that she demanded more than what she was willing to give when she told her what she was offering in the interview. And Tasha K just left it there. But there is proof that her management went to Tasha K, and it said that it can happen without her knowledge, but her management went to. When I watched the first young lady that was talking about it, because she was coming down on Tasha K, but by the time she got to the end of her video, you had done totally turned it around and was like, she need to fire her manager, because the way that the manager came back to her was as if as if you sent her to set this up with Tasha K. Everything was set up, and then when she came back to you, you didn't like what Tasha K had to offer, so now you don't want to do it. That's the way. I mean, the girl changed herself around in her whole video, because I was just like, did she watch the Tasha, when she was talking, did she watch the Tasha K video? I watched the Tasha K video, and I watched Brianna's video, and yeah, I got a little bit Team Tasha from that, you know. I said all that to say I believe that Brianna did all of that to have more attention on her, because Tasha K is a humongous YouTuber. She's the biggest celebrity gossip YouTuber on the tubes. Black one anyway. I don't know about white ones or any other nationalities, but black ones is Tasha K. So yeah, that's team narcissism all the way there, because you're trying to get more attention off of it. You're saying that your husband is using his children, y'all's children, but you got his daughter who ain't y'all children at all. You put her, y'all all using her. You using her daddy using her mama using her. Y'all all using that poor baby, and her just think her getting used by her daddy. Her just think her getting used by her daddy. Her ain't looking at them two heifers just. I ain't looking at them two things that's raising her. That part. So I was watching a podcaster, Real Raw Uncensored. What I got from that, low vibrational people, men and women, they attract each other. They attract each other. That is what I say when I speak about my view about abortion. I'm not speaking about people whose lives may be in danger. I'm speaking about all them young ones that's out there fighting for it because low vibrational people attract each other and get pregnant and then get upset because they ain't vibing no more. No more have baby. I said it already. Keep saying it. He was talking about the Latruths and he compared them. I'm not going to speak much on this because I'm going to go in and it's another story and I want to bring both of them. And this is when I said earlier that in this a little later you'll hear why it's not just a black thing. Ronell and Kiana Burns, black couple from Georgia. The elementary principal who jumped to his suicide because he was being abused, because we be so far and totally that we feel like a man can't be abused. He was the epitome of you can get out. We might not like the way he got out, but evidently he felt like he couldn't get out no more. He jumped off of a Disney fixture to get away from her. Ronell and Kiana, he put her on the cut. That's why Real Raw and Censored was comparing this one to the Truths, because was saying that this could be a potentially dangerous situation. Because Ronell and Kiana, Ronell put her on the come up, then she wound up doing unaliving activity to them both. To them both. Okay, so this is the narcissism that I want you guys to catch, guys. And this narcissism can be for women too, but I'm hearing men say it more than I'm hearing the women say it, so I'm gonna just throw this at y'all. Derek Jackson and the Truth seem to believe that if you're going to come online and talk about their situation, you should just be respectful about it or don't say anything. Derek Jackson said, pray if you don't have anything nice to say, basically. I said to Derek Jackson and Mr. Truth what I have said to everybody that I go in and make a comment on, and I don't comment on everybody, but if anybody comes in and comments on the fact that I've commented on their comment, ask my daughter. Excuse me if y'all heard that. If you didn't, excuse me anyway. It's public social media. If you make a comment, it can be commented on. Period, point blank, that part's over. It's narcissistic to think that the world revolves around you and that the public is just supposed to see things how you see it and do things how you want them to do it. Go figure. You should go have several seats. I haven't thrown a go check your ex and your enema to the men in quite some time, Mr. Jackson and Mr. Latruth. But y'all got some checking to do of yourselves. Derek Jackson's wife, I thought that that's why Gort is telling me to vet. And I might, the stuff, I might, because I gotta go do my own. So I watched a podcast that says she applied for the divorce. Then Tasha K just said she don't know nothing about the divorce. How you don't know about a divorce? Your husband is out here telling everybody y'all getting a divorce. That what he doing, y'all? That what he doing? Alright, so then there was Nosy again. This can be a little bit of ecclesiastical oppression as well, y'all. She was talking about Cora Jakes. You know, all this stuff going on with Cora Jakes. Nosy Bystander said that Corey Jakes could not pass the mental health evaluation to get to adopt. I don't know if y'all know who Corey Jakes is. That's TD Jakes' daughter. And I have not. I haven't read anything on the story in a little bit. Um, but I'm gonna go back and do some more research on that as well. But she had posed the question: do her parents hold any responsibility? Like, what say you? What say you? Like, were there any exhibitions as a child? I mean, you can't do anything with an adult, but was mental illness an issue as a child? Was it checked? Was it unchecked? But now, as a person who suffers with mental illness in such a way that you can't get an adoption, you out here with a house full of babies. When I did all that I did, because I'm an eyes person, y'all, when I first started hearing about the story, and that was probably maybe 2 or 3 months ago, when I first started hearing about the story, I went to her Instagram page and I just looked at the babies. And I looked in their eyes, and not one eye looked happy. Not one eye. And I looked through several of her pictures. And the page was a legitimate page. Several of her pictures. Not one eye looked happy. I'm not saying that her parents are responsible. I'm saying that in order for there to be family healing, that everybody has to take the deepest and the hardest look at themselves. I lost a friend because she didn't want to hear that about her mom. Your mom got to take the deepest and the hardest look. We affect our children. If you don't want to admit that, it is what it is. That's delusional. That's smoke and mirrors. It's narcissistic. It's an imbalance in your anema. Not to think that you affect your children and their come up when you probably was somebody who, if you think you don't affect them, you 9 times out of 10 was somebody that was affected by your raising. And you just compartmentalized it. I'm just saying. TikTok mama cut her baby hair. TikTok mama cut her baby hair. You talking about you can't be jealous of your baby because y'all twins. How you ever gonna be twins with your daughter? It's first and foremost. I understand the concept of what she's saying, but I was listening to Oz the video, and I put it all in context with all of that. And I know young ladies whose mothers were jealous of them. So I know what the signs look like. And she screams jealous of her daughter. My whole thought process was, if your daughter thinks pretty is more important than grades, she had to get it from somewhere. If she didn't get it from you, there was still something that was missing in her that allowed her to walk in that thought process. That still comes from home. So if she picked it up in school, she was able to pick it up in school because she didn't learn the confidence she needed to be able to combat it at school. And if you give her free reign to social media, everything on social media say you got to be a certain kind of pretty. Look at all them filters. Damn filters. I'm talking about the filters. There's nothing wrong with filters if you understand that it's just a filter, and if you feel like you have to have that filter. And I said makeup is the biggest filter, and I wear some makeup, and I will wear a full beat. But y'all, I will go right back to what I said before. Welcome, 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 y'all. Like, share, and subscribe if you care. Like, share, and subscribe if you care. I'll go right back to what I said before. If you can't do without the makeup, it's a filter. It's still an issue there. Period. Period. So, and then she says that she don't care about what the people saying on TikTok about the commenters on TikTok because y'all already failures. Your parents failed because y'all on TikTok commenting, and all I could think of is You came on TikTok because you felt like the best thing to do when your daughter was, that's a self-esteem issue. If your daughter thinks that pretty is more important than education, then she's suffering through a self-esteem issue. And the way you thought to handle that was to come and cut her hair bald on social media. Why? Because that one still threatens a headache in me. If I don't sweat, I headache. You cut that baby's hair bald on social media and then had a very structured conversation where you asked questions and she had to answer them according to how you wanted her to answer them on social media so that it can look good for you on social media. I was looking in that baby's eyes as well. You was on social media, man. What are you talking about? You're not listening to nobody on social media because y'all parents is already failures because y'all on social media. Woo. And then Nosy had a guest that asked her, how do you spot a narcissist? And Nosy said that you can spot them from the jump because they wear a facade. What is a facade? A mask. What is a mask? The persona. You see the mask, the mirror sees you. Smoke in the mirrors. And she said, if you on social media crying for attention and wanting everybody to validate your feelings, narcissism. Narcissism. Because a narcissist is going to feed you their opinion and then want you to agree with it. They're not going to allow you to have a free thought process. It has been said that this United States is both narcissistic and incompassionate, two of the male traits in anema. Lack of compassion and abundance of narcissism. And when a woman walks too much in her masculinity, she lacks compassion. And she has to be taught how to be compassionate. It's androgynous. Y'all can catch it. Y'all can throw it away. The psyche is androgynous. The spirit is androgynous. Your shell just has a cover. So you have to get past your shell because your shell is also a mask. Your shell can also be a facade. So you have to learn how to go within. Is deeper than your shell. You're still out here with your shell. You can't see what's within. That's why it's hard. Look at your girl, look at your girl, look at your girl. Now let's do some political. Oh my goodness, it's on 10. I'm finished. I'm almost finished. Come on, YouTubes. I'm almost finished. I'm on the last page. I'm for real. Political oppression. Angela Stanton says, Joe Biden, you brought home Brittany Griner. What about doing away with that 94 crime bill? That was one weed in comparison to all of our guys that are still locked up with weed charges. Can I say weed on the tubes and the books? I mean, you brought her back from Russia, and I ain't mad at it, because the other side of political oppression is that the Republicans wanted somebody who was a whole federal criminal to come back instead of somebody who just had a blunt. That's all she had. It was in a vape because she had a blunt. She had a blunt. She might have had a little more than a blunt, but it is what it is. She ain't have enough to. And I understand all of that she was in Russia and all of that stuff like that. All of that is emotional. All of those things is emotional. She did not deserve to be over there and all of that. But then you want to bring a federal criminal home instead of a misdemeanor. And you want to keep all the boys locked up in jail. Ponder, you guys, ponder. Gotta go quickly. And then Lovely T. Oh, Lordy. Lovely T seems to believe that the transitional surgeries are money geared, and that is why they are trying to get to the babies who I want you to get your mind right on these platforms for, so that we can understand that they're trying to get to the babies. Did I say that with the quickness? Because that made me done. They're trying to get to the babies. If we don't have our mind right, we're going to let them get to the babies. We're not going to care about the babies. We're going to keep letting the babies just be exposed. And we're going to keep thinking it's okay that babies make adult decisions when babies can't make no other adult decisions. Why you going to let them make one there? People don't let money change you, almighty dollar. Y'all, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I am very passionate about what I do. I don't mean to sound like I ate mean. That's what a TikToker told me. I sound like I ate mean. I don't mean to sound like I'm coming at somebody's neck in particularly. I'm just really passionate about people. You could call me the people's champ. People's. I love people. I always have. I love all kinds of people. I do not just love black people. I love all people. Unless I don't love you. And then the Most High has to make me love you, because I can't hate you, because the Lord told me not to hate you. But I said all that to say, narcissism deals a lot with throwing your rocks and holding your hand. Throwing your rock, and hiding your hand. Because you want everything to be outward. You want to, because a lot of the platforms that I'm watching about Breonna LaTruth are admitting to the fact that she is coming at this man, and then this man is coming for her. This has nothing to do with his own personal narcissism. If he's a narcissist, that's one thing. That's self-healing that he has to do. But as far as she's concerned, she's coming for him, and then he's coming back to respond. Throwing your rocks, hiding your hand. Shadow work, y'all, is hard. Shadow work is painful. Shadow work is long. But shadow work is also worth it if it's something you're trying to get into. If it ain't for you, it ain't for you. But if it's for you, I am rooting for you that you do the work. I am rooting for me that I continue to do the work. So why would I not root for you? I love you, and I'm out for my phone die. That part. No, that's not how any of that works. How you stop it? Oh, right there.